Sagittarius, the month of September 2025 horoscope is full of the eclipse energy, and it is important because it's hitting you on the angles, and it means it can change anything in your life. These eclipses through houses 1 and 4 can change your home, can change your relationship to significant people in your life, including marriage and your career path. And this energy is rare. We last saw this 18 years ago. It happened in the 2006, 7, and 8 cycle. So you have to go back to that time of your life to compare. Good news. So Jupiter is blessing these eclipses and allowing for them to give you very positive, destined and fated change energy. You're probably going to like the changes that show up, but they are important and significant because they are on the angles. They are big game changers for you. Also, we have some other stories going on in the sky with Mars moving around the chart and activating some significant shifts for you. They could even locate a new home for you in a new location in a far off land. And Jupiter is trying his darndest to get you some chunky money, as he will be doing not only in September, but through till next summer. So let's talk about all of that in our 25 to 35 minutes together for your sign. If you like this kind of all signs content, hit the like button and subscribe. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Lothian. I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses, fixed stars, and minor asteroids. And I'm doing my dinosaur hands. I know the insiders here know what I'm doing with that as well. You know something? I feel like this is a month for you that you can find this sort of leaning into the gods and leading into fate. You know, you're going to find that just take a ride on the sky. Don't let yourself have to think or imagine you got a steering wheel. It's not that kind of energy. But what we use astrology for is to time your best life, to actually use the flow of the sky to move in alignment with it. And if you do want to learn how to do that for yourself rather than listen to general all signs astrology, consider joining me on my Sky Reader class on September 27th. We're going to go 6 weeks live to be your own astrologer, time your best life, and sky read the sky, understand how to read the language of astrology and your natal sky. When we do this class, we have all kinds of stuff: 4 guest teachers, weekly Q&As with me, live call lessons, all the replays available, all the content housed forever and ever in the teaching platform for you to keep. And we have the weekly Q&As, but we also have guest teachers. Think I said it all. Discord and Facebook group as well. I teach this class every year, and this is usually in the fall. So it is in the fall again. Tried to put it out earlier this year, but I was busy moving my home. So we're going to be doing another round of Sky Reader. Come join me there. I'd love to see you. It's quite affordable given the amount of content you're getting. I hope it works for some of you to join me. Check the description box below for the enrollment link, etc. Well, I'm trying to record these early. I'm recording this on August 13th for my Patreon community who gets this early access ad free because I'm going to be traveling for a week. And so if you always want to get content ahead of the curve, join me there as well. Now let's get, without those darn pesky ads that the YouTube default ads go into. That's your sky. This is what it looks like to be you. If you're listening for your sun sign, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising, then you're listening for matters to do with career and purpose. Your moon sign will take you to matters to do with emotions and your home life and domestic life and where you live. And your rising sign is anything about you. It is your simulation in the avatar. It's a character you're playing in the reality game called The Matrix. However, the sun is your essential nature. But it turns out that when you listen for your rising sign, for most people, most of the time, it can lead to very circumstantially accurate astrology. But your sun sign can as well. So listen to both for sure. Add the moon for extra flavor. So let's talk about this. This is the ascendant, and we pretend the moon or the sun is in the first house, called derived houses, in order to read for sun sign and moon signs as well. So, well, first things first. Like I've been saying this for same thing for every single sign. So, I doth repeat myself. The first week and last week of September are challenging. We have 2 eclipses. We'll talk about those as they come up on the 7th and the 21st of the month. And that's the main story for you because they are in the 10th house, 4th house, and they change your life. They rotate the wheel of fortune for you. Okay, so you are one of the signs that get those major changes. Like you are one of the mutable signs that are under a lot of shift right now, like in 2006, 7, and 8. So Sagittarius. Let's go in chronological order to talk about the difficult first week of September, where we have a couple of squares in our heavens. First is Mars in Libra, not doing well anyway because he's in detriment and off balance in Venus's house. Therefore, he's grumpy and angry and unbalanced, and he's in the house of friends, allies, and social groups. And you might find that you have a lot of arguments with friends, your social circles suck, and you're having difficulty there. And you might be working hard for your career gains, even becoming, if you're working, overly hardworking, and you're not getting the results you expect, the profits or the career salary gains, etc. They're not exactly what you want, or you're working so hard, but it's not worth it. It's just out of balance. And Mars is out of balance here for 6 weeks, roughly every 2 years. So you have to deal with it every 2 years, and fights with a sibling one older, disagreements with a sibling one older, disagreements with some of your friends. These are stories that you might have been going through ever since Mars entered Libra, August the 6th. And when he leaves, it'll be September the 21st. So you had, most of August with this, and now you're going to keep it on for 3 weeks in September. And as September begins, that first week, he comes into a fight with Mars. There's a conversation that's argumentative, and it can be between your friendships, your elder sibling, and money, shared resources with your money. I mean, it can be money from inheritances, family of origin. It can be money that you share with a spouse, and some tussles with a sibling or a friend about money that doesn't even belong to you. And they want you to spend money on them. And you're like, I can't, that's not my money. Or this Jupiter transit is an inheritance transit. In the next 2 years, some of you will come into some money. And that's because once Jupiter goes into Leo, it still carries forward next year. So Jupiter is blessing you in your chunky money house now through to next July. And at this time, Mars is having a problem with it. This is also your in-laws. You might have a major problem with an in-law. You might have a problem with money that your spouse is sharing with you as well. And all said and done, banks, loans, mortgages, and finances as well belong to where Jupiter's blessing you in the economics of banking and mortgages and loans and investments. That's a good thing. But who's fighting? Who's fighting with you? So I don't know. The first week is like, watch out for difficult circumstances with those friends, argumentative considerations, maybe even involving money, right? Or property or land because of Jupiter's relationship to the North Node. But I would say that this could involve domestic family feuds with siblings as well, particularly given Pluto's position. So siblings, money, inheritance, land, family assets, disagreements and arguments. This too shall pass. It doesn't last. It's just the first 7 days or so you'll feel this intensity. Mercury gets into a bit of a problem too right afterwards. Here we have him on September 2nd, moving into a square to Uranus. And over the next 3 days, the 2nd to the 5th, unexpected, surprising information or news about matters connected to your significant long-term committed love relationship, and letting go, surrendering, and allowing for something to change. Mercury's in great shape up there, but this is the house of weddings or legally bound marriage energy, where the whole world recognizes your legal status as a married person. This could be a clash with that. And this could be some kind of unexpected development where you're surprised by your partner, ruled by Mercury, who tells you, I'm out of here. It's over. I'm done. I'm not to scare you, but this is kind of vibing like that. If you're single, not to worry. It's nothing like that. There could be some legal issue to do with work, father figures, and contracts and agreements, and unexpected surprises. Okay. One other way this could show up, it depends on what you're up to in life. Unexpected breakthroughs in your career with viral content on the internet, reaching a larger audience. Perhaps that's one positive way to skew that story. But nonetheless, usually Mercury brings news and information. It's coming from the 10th house, South Node 10th house, Sun, maybe some unexpected, shocking, surprising news about a father figure. Saturn, the elder, backed into on September 1st out of the 5th house, your house of family of origin, family land, homeland, mom and dad, particularly mom, but Saturn represents an elder. So some Sag is having some kind of family of origin intensity, maybe involving money, news, information, father figures, etc. Mars is involved, of course, from Libra, collaterally, in a general way. And that's also, again, if you're trying to balance anything legally, to do with family, inheritance, money, shared resources, spousal assets, it's not an easy narrative right now. It's like, okay, that first week of September, it gives me a headache. But there is a total lunar eclipse on September 7th, and it is blessed by Jupiter. This is an eclipse that's similar to like an eclipse you would have experienced in the fall of 2007. and it would have lasted for 6 months after. This is the fall of 2025, and it will last for 6 months after. This is a north node down here in the house of home, property, land, and real estate. Eclipse, lunar, fulfilling, revealing, completing. It is destined, like a big full moon with destiny attached to it. It can reveal something to do with childhood stories, money, inheritances, family land and property, inheritance, assets shared mutually with others. It can be very illuminating as a completion of where you live. You're going to maybe move. Did you move in 2007, September at 6 months? Maybe you did. Did you have family legacy, money issues, land, property, stories percolating around you at the time? It's back again. This is also a repeating energy. You had a different, very milder version of this eclipse in September 2024. So you're now getting a bigger, heavier energy, total blood moon eclipse. If there are family things that you don't know about your ancestors or your mom or your dad, maybe some revelations could come up here that are a little bit shocking or surprising, given where Uranus is sitting. And this triangle goes all September long, transpersonal energy, but it does activate a really interesting combination of energies that could indicate some destined romance for you over the next year. This is going to play out through September as well, through to February. Destined success with creative or artistic projects, those kinds of things. Well, I would say one more thing about the eclipse. I mean, Jupiter gives you what you want, not what you need. He's exalted in a chunky money house. There's a sense that shared assets and resources with your spouse, the in-laws, or the money you share together. It could be about separation of assets in a divorce and a fulfillment of who gets the dog, who gets the land, who gets what, that kind of stuff. Just for those of you who are married and you know it's not going to work, that kind of story looks like this may be in play for you. All right. Now we move on to September the 7th to the 14th, and the sun sextiles Jupiter, and that's positive energy. Jupiter exalted receives the light of the sun from the 10th house of career. How does that look? Well, maybe you're going to have an escalation of success in your visible reputation. So you're retired while your golf score hit the best score ever, but how people see you accomplishing something in the world, doing your thing, taking your actions at high noon, your reputation and social standing gets a juicy blessing around September 10th to the 14th. And it's pretty exact on the 12th. And it could look like, ouch, sorry, my shoulder. It could look like you might also be coming into some financial success vis-a-vis career in fated destined ways, but only if it's career stories connected to your past. South Node. So, a sign-on bonus, right? Maybe some money to do with the stock taking off connected to the company you work for. I don't know. Maybe a chunky money coming through somehow, some way connected to father figures in career. We go to father figures, we're talking inheritance. We go to career, we talk about career people from the past and situations returning to increase your financial success. Seeing that happen, likely September 10th to the 15th. On the 13th of September, Mercury will join the sun and reset your 10th house. This will last 6 weeks. Fresh starts and new beginnings connected to reputation. I'm married, I'm widowed, I'm single, that kind of thing, or to career itself. With the South Node, though, a lot of you are going to leave behind old paths. You might have to let go of the old career path. For something new to emerge, and maybe you even change careers in some way 2006, 7, and 8, and you're going to do that again. And this is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. So Mercury says, let me give you a 6-week reset button, but look to phone calls, text messages, and emails and discussions regarding career opportunities that are fortunate financially around the 13th of the month. And 6 weeks later, it unfolds a new start, a fresh start here. There is a beautiful energy coming through our sky from the 14th of the month to the 21st, with the cosmic lovers hooking up, but also, of course, an eclipse coming up and a double kite energy. So let's break it down. On about the 12th or the 11th, before we even hit the 14th, you start to feel the vibe of love goddess Venus hooking up with Mars. And that's often connected to romance, love, fun, pleasure, but also what you desire being actually given to you by Mars, who's fetching what Venus wants from her kingdom. This Venus in Leo is very entitled on her queenly throne of power. She's definitely strong in the fire Leo zone. She's been here since August 25th. So by the time you're listening to this video, you're probably looking back at her entrance August 25th into your ninth house. So as a general principle, this is where you're going to have a lot of fortune. It's going to be a Lakshmi luck house glowing and flowing you up. It can bring money from father figures. It can bring increase of success in book publishing, love and romance from foreign lands and shores. You can activate success in legal matters to do with courts, and it can be often a good indication of success in academic or book publishing settings. And while she's here, you get all of these blessings. Again, it's not a short trip. It's August 25th to September 18th. And in the middle of all of that, she ends up around September 11th, beginning to have a conversation with Mercury that wants to benefit you from the house of windfalls, pennies from heaven, and great gains from your career. So there is some money that can come off of this in a lucky way for you. She'll be pretty exact in that energy with him around here, the 14th and 15th. It runs until the 19th. So the 11th to the 19th, let's say, of September are very lucky energies. It could indicate travel to a foreign country, connecting with friends and traveling with friends to foreign lands and shores, taking a pilgrimage, having some windfalls or pennies from heaven come to you, healing a chironic wound around love and romance, creativity and art, around your creative energies, healing a chironic wound around your children, and maybe a reconciliation with a child that you have. These are stories. And energy around auspicious developments with a grandchild or information about a grandchild. All said and done, it looks good, feels good. But if you're looking for a role, if you're already with someone, the best I can say is a chance to travel abroad or learn in a learning setting that connects to an existing love, like you and your partner are going to travel and it feels really good. But if you're not doing that, see, Venus has got a desire in the ninth house. She wants something for you. She wants you to get accepted to the universe. She wants you to travel abroad. She wants you to get the book publishing deal. Mars is trying to execute it. He's in a sign of legal contracts and deals. He's at a balance. He's in a sign of friends and benefactors and an elder sibling. Be careful. Those friends, benefactors, and elder siblings are trying their best to deliver to Venus what she wants right on her doorstep, but they're not reliable, not with Mars in his condition of exile. So you double check the fine print, really ask if you think what you're getting from that friend, benefactor, or elder sibling is true. Get it signed, get it looked over by a lawyer. But if you've had no love in your life, or you're single, or love is waning in your life, then this can bring through a very beautiful, possibly new relationship. But we're looking at that foreign shore and foreign land, or distant shores, or educational setting vibe for how this person may show up for you. Mercury is going to do a kite story for you. There's two holds. The kite gets activated twice this month. So let's watch what Mercury does. As Mercury leaves his home kingdom of Virgo, where he's helping you with career and reputation and public standing, and is be successfully negotiating career changes that you need and want from September 2 to 2nd, as he finishes up that story here around the 17th, 16th, 17th, and 18th of the month. He's going to be constricted by Saturn, retrograde in the 4th house. Old family issues, elders in the home, ancestral elders who are elderly, ancestral aligned people who are elderly, contraction, constriction, difficulties with expanding your home, financing a home, buying a home, refinancing a home, challenges with conversations, details in family structures and wealth. If you were trying to get a new job out of this and you're working towards signing contracts, suddenly there's a glitch, something about your home life isn't going to work. They want you to work too far from your home. That's a hardship, right? You might feel melancholic and lonely. On September 1st, Saturn went back to your 4th house, and it can lead you to feel home alone in the home, melancholic and isolated in your home for some reason. I don't know why. And all of a sudden, Mercury, Mr. Social Life in the 10th house of visible reputation, wants everyone to see him having a good time. And Saturn is like, I'm home alone and I'm depressed. There's some weird thing going on here. It does pass quickly. It only lasts 3 days, right? 16th, 17th, 18th-ish. Then on the 18th or so, then Mars segues into the bottom of a kite and he's holding it with his hand and it wants to lift off and bring you success. The success it wants to create is happening here in your fifth house. It's great for romance, conception of children, entrepreneurial activities, creative projects, artistic endeavors, and success. If you work in acting, filmmaking, movies, Hollywood, photography, glamour, modeling, filmography, these are Neptunian fields of endeavor. You're healing a chironic wound that Mars is trying to balance around wounds with all of the themes I just mentioned, including the romantic and the wounds with your children. Mars is trying to straighten it out and find a solution with Venus. And all of a sudden, here we have a kite. So you could get a favor from an elder sibling one above you. You can get a lucky break from a friend, a benefactor, an ally. You could get some increase of financial success through a career matter, but it all leads to greater creative, entrepreneurial, and enjoyment of life. The success is in the house of pleasure and enjoyment and fun. The energy is anchored by air. And it's also anchored by Kama houses. So it's a lot about what you desire, the people who can help get your desires to you, right? And it activates the house of, your local neighborhood and social groups there, your business partners and your committed love, and of course your elder brother or larger social groups, brother, sister. There's a lot of relational energy this kite is pulling on to help you succeed in your fifth house endeavors. But anyway, we still have to deal with other challenging energies, including the eclipses, which we're going to talk about next. I would say to you, hunker down, buckle up. I think I forgot to mention the solar eclipse here. Did I mention it? Did I somehow forget it? So on the 21st, we have a solar eclipse. So maybe I did not forget it. On the 21st, we have a solar eclipse to let go, release, and surrender, something to do with marital status, reputation, career status. I'm retired, I'm widowed, I'm married. Let go, release, surrender. Public knows about it. People see it happening. Surrender the job, let go of the career, end it. Portal to the new wants to emerge in the year that follows. This kind of vibe was also here in the fall of 2007 at a year. It takes about a year for most solar eclipses to complete the cycle on average. And a fallen Venus is here. Now, a fallen Venus, she's a ruler of love and romantic love. She's in her fall. She's not strong. She'll be fallen here from September 19th to October the 14th. That September 19th, October 14th means fall in career, fall in reputation, fall in love stories in the visible world. If you're having a separation, she squares Uranus. Shocking stories telling the world that you're no longer together with your long-term squeeze. That would be a story. That would be kind of the thing like announcing to the world that you and your main partner are separating. Venus is fallen, but she does rule a certain story in your chart, and that is the work story. And so she's fallen in the career space and owns the workspace. So maybe coming to a close of a line of work that you've been doing, it might be coming to a destined ending. So new lines of work can emerge. So I know a Sagittarius who got involved in the acting industry back in this eclipse cycle of 2006, 7, and 8. And he's probably going to leave that industry, for example. It's not really like you're falling, you know what I mean? It's not terrible, but Venus wants to, she's telling you something is going down, not up, right? In the career or the wedding house or the reputation house. But Jupiter blesses it just like he does the lunar eclipse. So he's looking at it and he's going, hey, I got this. So whatever's falling in the career, falling in the reputation, falling in the relationship stories, it's going to still lead to prosperity and good possible financial gains in the chunky money, inheritances, and spousal separation assets or severance packages because you leave your job. Or ultimately you find some more money somewhere else that's better than what you were doing in the work, fallen work and career story. So the Artha thing is falling, but other energies are lifting. So let's see what happens. That eclipse I'll do another video on. Stay tuned, join my channel, like and subscribe. You don't want to miss that. The sun moves into the kite. Remember, Mercury was there on the 17th, 18th. Now the sun is holding the kite and lifting it up. It just takes what Mercury did already and makes it stronger and lifts it further, and it fuels it up with fire. Now, a solar energy is fire, and it lifts this kite again to all the fifth house successes. Some of you might even end a relationship because you got a hot romance with a soulmate starting out. Some of you may be more than happy, by the way, to start an entrepreneurial direction and leave behind something that was an employment structure. So we'll see how that looks, but the sun does what Mercury did on the 18th, 17th, 18th, and pumps it up on the 23rd, 24th for more kite action in the sky. Then the last week of the month is the challenging week again, first and last week. Why? Well, Mars. Around the 23rd of the month, 22nd of the month, Mars is going to move into Scorpio. Now he's no longer debilitated in your house of friends, social groups, and career gains, long range goals and dreams. No, he's fine. He moves away into Scorpio last year in October, November of 2023, but he was invisible then. So he's visible now, and he's firing up his dignity in your 12th house. This is good for ashrams, pilgrimages, spiritual travel, destinations for spiritual sustenance. Maybe you're doing that in the fall of 23. But now that he's visible, he's stronger and doing things that you can more outpicture in the real world. Time alone can be very productive. You might be very passionately engaged in projects behind the scenes, especially creative or artistic ones that require precision and intensity. Thank you, Venus. And I wonder, this often can look like cutting something away. Usually it's an addiction, self-undoing bad habit. I mean, like everything from too much wine to Haagen-Dazs to checking out, escaping with Netflix, patterns of sabotage. And that Mars is there to eliminate, cut, and sever those sabotaging life patterns and habits. He's plowing through past lives. He's digging under the surface of your childhood. He's excavating as well, and could really open up spiritual illumination. And with Jupiter, like an occult teacher, you might study under a teacher, learn under an occultist, go see a palm reader, devise some new insights into your life through the occult arts, maybe even learning them. Some of them you might want to learn, but you may also just benefit from occultist teachers, spiritual illumination. For some of you, this could propel you not only to travel to far off distant shores, but with a North Node here in Jupiter, to invest in them. You may want to move your home. You might want to sell a property, move to another country. This window of time where changing your home to foreign lands or distant shores, even within your own country, to stick the landing on your forever home, so to speak, is playing out September 22nd to November 3rd. But it is in the beginning, when Mars is here, September 22nd to about the 25th, that he is in a power struggle with Pluto. And it may be a power struggle with a sibling. It may be a power struggle with a sibling and financial assets that you are struggling to divide or share. It could be a power struggle with a neighbor or a locale or the zone in which you're living, people around you in the daily life. And you want to be alone and you want to go somewhere, and you have to fight with that sibling, that aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, and nephew, extended family. This is often a sibling younger than you, but it doesn't have to be. And just a vibe of having a battle of wills, right, with somebody else. You just want to be alone. You want to go on the ashram, the retreat. You want to travel. You want to dig into creative projects by yourself. You want to execute passion. You want to go on a cleanse. You want to quit your addictions. And you have to struggle here. The first bit of the story, the 22nd to the 26th of the month. Look for power struggles here. I mean, Pluto is a part of the kite, and you got to work the power struggles out to make the success happen in creativity, entrepreneur, pleasure, romance, and fun in your life. I would say that a lot of Sagittarius are looking at a move. And by the time a year passes from this eclipse cycle, by the time you get to next fall, some of you have changed your home. But you may have ended relationships and massively changed career path. So this is where you want to definitely check in with my astrology on the regular. I'll dive deeper and deeper into these eclipses, or see a professional astrologer. I'm not available. Canadian English Dictionary is going to be our oracle one-word draw. If you watched any of the other signs, sun, moon, and rising, you saw that we were aiming for a one-word delineation. I got the plane, like an airplane. Yeah, so you're going to travel. That doesn't surprise me. Once Mars goes into Scorpio on the 22nd, he activates foreign travel, distant shore travel, going places, moving from home. Some of you will be traveling, but I think a lot of the travel is definitely oriented towards after September 22nd and maybe through to November 3rd. Travel blesses you. Adventures abroad bless you. Long distance shores bless you. Even traveling to other far off parts of your own country are beneficial to you with Scorpio Mars stories playing out. September 22nd until November 3rd. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Don't forget to check out Sky Reader and come learn to read your own natal sky, play and study with other students, get to keep the content forever. I teach it once a year. At some point, I'll stop teaching it probably, and I'll just sell the course. But so far, you can only do the course with me live. So if you want to do that, come join me. I'd like to see you in class. It'd be great to see you there.